What's happening? RPG Fantasy Sports Report here, 1970s edition.
Let's get it on.
Visit my site, www.rpgfantasysportsdoc.com. I'm RPG, sitting in for Ron Burgundy today. My man, Paco Jones. What's cracking?
What's up, right on?
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Week 11, people. No buys, no excuses. Men, we're separating from the boys here. A couple injuries to talk about that may affect your Week 11 turnout. Quarterback Matt Schaub in the hospital last night. Apparently he's still going to play with the knee injury. Don't like that matchup versus the Jets at all. Tony Romo, the sling's off. I didn't think he was going to play the rest of this year, but all of a sudden Dallas has a new coach. They're playing with a little bit of and if you are holding him in your roster, you may want to hold on to him just in case you're in the fantasy playoffs because he may play. Running back, D'Angelo Williams, IR, get rid of him, he's worthless. Jonathan Stewart, probably not going to play this week either. I wouldn't like him against Baltimore anyway, and a third-string quarterback in Tony Pike. Youch! Let's see, who else do we got? We've got Pierre Thomas, probably still a couple weeks until he plays again. Who really cares at this point, huh? Reggie Bush, probably going to suit up, but probably going to ease him in slowly, so be careful using him. Receiver Donald Driver hasn't practiced this week, had the bye to rest, questionable. Check him out. Malcolm Floyd, he is practicing. He should be good to go Monday night. We'll have Champ Bailey, so be careful there. Austin Collie, practice a little bit. It is a Sunday night game, so be careful. He may play, but make sure you have somebody in reserve. And probably the most important of all, Antonio Gates. 50-50 to play. It's a Monday night game. You're either going to play somebody else and just think he's not going to play, or you're picking up somebody like Randy McMichael and checking the inactives Monday night. Either way, you're always checking the inactives. Got to do it. It's playoff time. We're getting excited. Tomorrow night, Chi-Town at Miami. My boy Paco Jones, what do you got to say about it?
Thursday night special. We've got Chicago at Miami at Sun Life Stadium. Two of my favorite cities. South Beach and the Windy City. If it was up to me, I'd go Miami, but we're talking fantasy football here, so I'm going to have to actually go with Chi-Town on this. And if you're looking for your players on this, stout Bears run defense. It's going to be tough, I think, for Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams, even though they're going to have a little bit of an expanded role because of the quarterback situation in Miami. Tough defense to run on. They held Adrian Peterson to 51 yards last week, so they're looking real good. Third-string quarterback, like we're talking about, with old Thigpen there. He's great in terms of being an athlete. I don't know how great he is in terms of being a quarterback. He is mobile. He might surprise some people, but with that defensive line at Chicago, I think Adonijay and Peppers, they're going to give some big pressure on him. It's going to be tough for him. So back, Ricky and Ronnie, if you do have them, you've got to play them, I would say, because of the expanded Wildcat role that they're going to probably have this week. Ricky has been dominating thus far. Ronnie needs to have a big game if Miami is going to win this one. On the bad side for your fantasy players, Brandon Marshall, I think his value probably goes down this week, obviously with Thigpen as the starter and the expanded role of the Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. So be aware of that. Special teams, this is my call actually. So special teams of this game, I think it's going to be huge. Devin Hester, I think he's going to break the record for all-time kick or punt returns. 14 is the number. He's got 13 right now, and I'm thinking he's going to take one back. Took one back to the Super Bowl there a couple years ago, and he likes Miami. He's from that area, so look out for that. Lastly, and I know this isn't usually part of Rye Dog's shtick here, though, kicker, Dan Carpenter. He might be the best kicker in the league. Miami gets a lot of plays down there, but they don't convert in the red zone. Carpenter is scoring a lot. He's averaging about 9 points in standard leagues. So look out for that if you...
Standard leagues.
Yeah. So there it is. So keep an eye on that. Cutler, though, I think Cutler, he's improved a little bit. They've kept him upright the last 2 games. That's kind of big. So my only question with Cutler, though, is he's always going to make a couple... I'd say he's good for 2 picks a game. Great arm, but you got to watch out for that. So if you have Bears D, play him for sure. I like it. Matt Forte, I think you got to play him a little bit. He had an expanded role last week. A lot of people thought Chester Taylor was going to get some carries, but it was really Matt Forte. Bears receivers, I like them a lot though. Any of them actually. So I go with Hester, any of those guys. And then the Miami Cheerleaders, definitely play them. That's it, really, though. That's our Thursday game.
Look at you! Look at you! Look at you!
Hey, there it is. All
Pete
right.
Jones in the house.
Paco Jones, guys.
Couple guys. You know, you're starting your studs no matter what. AP, Aaron Rodgers. If you're not starting them, you shouldn't be watching us. You shouldn't be. A couple guys I do like, not usually ranked high. David Garrard, once again, 7 TDs the last 2 games. At this point, somebody's got to have him in his roster. Gotta love him. Sean Hill. Dallas seems to have got things going. They're going to score a lot of points, I think. Sean Hill's going to heave it 40 times, and I hope he throws it to Calvin Johnson 30 because Dallas' secondary is all beat up. He's going to get you a couple turnovers, like he mentioned with Cutler, but throwing 40 times a game, you got to like that. At running back, Mike Tolbert. Doesn't look like Ryan Matthews is going to play. San Diego's going to throw a ton, but I can still see 50 yards and maybe a TD as an RB2 possibly. Who else we got? I can't see a thing without these glasses. Keelan Williams. Portis 50-50, Ryan Train hamstring issues, knew that was coming. Tennessee's a tough, stout run defense, but if he's going to get the ball 30 times, why not, I say. Wide receiver, James Jones. If Donald Driver doesn't play, you really upgrade him. If he plays, I still think if Driver plays, I think you still stick with them. Manningham, Kevin Boss, 2 Giants, no Steve Smith till December. Manningham, wide receiver 2. Boss, an expanded role. I like both of them. Eli's throwing a ton. Pierre Garcon, I think he breaks out this week. The man has been dropping the ball like crazy, but a big game versus New England, I think Manning looks for him. They have some weapons, but they got some guys dinged up. I think this is the week he breaks out. And let's go Ben Watson, too. Cleveland's had a horrible schedule the last 4 or 5 weeks. It frees up this week. I like him as a sleeper tight end. P, anybody?
Yeah, you know, I got two on there that I don't think you hit on that I like. You got one of those that I was talking about, David Garrard, of course, great play. He had 29 points last week in most standard formats. I think that's a great call. But I got burned by him last week, but I think it's a great play this week. Ravens defense, they're going against, obviously, 1-8 Carolina. Tony Pike is the starter. It's looking like Tony Pike's the starter, so I think they're going to have a big game against them. I expect them to bounce back from a really poor performance last week. And then Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer playing Buffalo. Even though he's good for some interceptions occasionally, you know, I think that they got a little bit of life, and I think he's going to throw for a lot of yards. Buffalo only has 2 interceptions on the entire year, so I like Carson to have a big game too.
Nice, Billy Boy. Nice. Anyway, Week 11, exciting stuff. A little precursor to Thanksgiving next week. I'm excited. You're excited. Props to my San Diego State Aztecs for taking down Gonzaga last night. Word up! Anyway, I want to thank my man Paco Jones. He's the man. I'm RPG. We're going to leave you off with a little more Bee Gees. Thank you.
Night, guys.
Good stuff.
Thanks, man.